Hello, you beautiful people. My name's Casey Sports, and welcome to the first episode of the Hall of Fame Challenge. Let's talk about our protagonist of this save, a young man called Owen Coslett. He was born in Llandudno, Wales, where his mum and dad, not much money, but they were able to run a relatively successful fish and chip shop, just the two of them, and Coslett was seen as kind of the help. Even at a very young age, he would help out cleaning, a little bit of help with the staff and the customers, and he had a good time. But in 2016, his life changed for the better. He watched the Euros, where Wales would of course have that famous run all the way to the semi-finals before losing to eventual winners Portugal, or was it whoever? I don't remember. Just 8 years ago. I don't think he remembers quite the exact details, but it was watching that where he truly fell in love with the game of football and saw the potential that his country, Wales, had to maybe one day be a genuine footballing powerhouse. Since then, in those 8 years, things haven't quite worked out well for his country, but for him, things have gone very well. He would immediately start on coaching badges, knowing he wasn't good enough to play at the professional level at just 5'8". At the time, he was not even 5 foot, only 14 years old, 4'10". There was no way he was going to be competing in any of the school teams, certainly not any higher than that. And he'll do his coaching badges, he'll do a few years of refereeing throughout some of the park games in Wales, and even be fortunate enough to travel down to Cardiff in a cup final for the under 16 school national tournament. And he would really fall in love with it. The sort of leadership of refereeing, the coaching badges went great, and he would get all the way up to a National A licence at 19 years old. And it was that same year where he got that National A licence, he moved to the Cardiff Metropolitan University, where he would study sports business. And there he would try out, and he would have a couple games for the Cardiff Met Uni youth side and the B team, where he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either, and he would turn out to be a pretty regular face in the side, usually coming off the bench for the last 15 or 20 minutes, but he had started to ingrain himself in the footballing culture here in Cardiff. And then, one fateful month back in June of 2023, Ryan Jenkins would be fired under some financial restraints. He wanted a lot more money than Cardiff could offer, and yeah, simple as that. Ryan Jenkins was out. They had some interviews, and Owen Coslett would pop up. In an interview, he spoke about his experience both with the university, with football, with leadership, and how he was hoping to go on and get those continental licenses and become a face of Welsh football for the future. Obviously, the national team's not doing great, and he has aspirations. I doubt those aspirations will come true, but Owen Coslett believed them, and it was his passion in his speech, and maybe from watching a few too many reruns of Catch Me If You Can, he was somehow able to convince the board to hire Owen Coslett as their manager on a 2-year deal, and he hopes this will be a springboard to the future of football, and Welsh football at that. So here we are, Owen Coslett. This is Cardiff Met Uni. Last season finished 4th, which is a great finish for Cardiff Met Uni, and you can understand why Ryan Jenkins wanted a bit more money. They play at the King Code campus with a 1,800 capacity in the top division of Welsh football. They have had a bit of success over the last 30 years, I can say. Their last cup competition was in 2019 with the Nathaniel MG Cup. They finished second a few times. They also won the Welsh Cup in 1999 and the top division in 1993, 94, 97 and 99. So despite being just a university team, Cardiff Met Uni are a whole lot better than you may think. This is the squad that they've got with Williams, Lewis, Calery, Price, Bullock, Evans, Williams, Lewis, Craven, Chubb and Lang, and a few people joining: Barney Sodi, Evan Cadwallader and Joe Evans, with Jack Veal and Craig Davies leaving. Those are the transfers already agreed by the club. They are trying to move them around, and it's up to us to see if we can figure out a way to maybe improve this team. The board culture is to try and grow the club's reputation, avoid being relegated, and be competitive where we can in both of our cups before eventually becoming an established JD Simon Premier team. And let's be honest, I think we can all expect... it's just a 1-year deal. I think we can all expect that we will be an established Premier team. And the fan expectation is just to stay up. So even though we finished 4th last season, it's definitely still a feeling we just need to survive. Well, let's look a little more in depth at the team. It's quite a big side, but not all these players are actually real. 30 players here. Again, not all of them are real. But I'm going to quickly build the team and we're going to say hello to who they are. Okay, so I have built my squad now, or should I say Owen's built his squad. I would first say Jack Veal is leaving the club in 10 days, so he's not going to be involved. He's joining Tiverton Town, who are in English Southern League Premier South, the 9th tier. Yeah, the 9th tier of English football. So that is kind of the level we're at, which is lovely. He's one of our best players. And yeah, 6'1", 20 years old, will be leaving to join a very, very weak squad. I love that. One of our best players leaving there. So let's walk you through the team. In goal, we have Ben Haynes, who looks like a very solid goalkeeper. Very good jumping reach, 6'4", great determination, only 18 years old. Definitely one for the future if we are somehow able to keep hold of him. And yeah, great punching, reflexes, rushing out. So he's going to be playing as a sweeper keeper on defend. And I think he's going to be a very good player at that. And his whole job mainly is to play these over-the-top through balls and maybe sweep up where our defence can't get it. So let's talk about the two central defenders. By far and away, our best central defender is Sean Williams. The Welsh centre-back is 6 foot. Does like to play left-back, can also play in central defence, which is where we have him. Very, very good player. Great marking, tackling. Maybe a little bit weak on... What's this? This is interesting. Perhaps a little bit weak on the aerial side, and I can definitely see why he'd move to left-back. Not much strength, not much aerial reach, but clearly a very good player. And our other centre-back is Emlyn Lewis, who is a little bit more of your traditional centre-back, 6'1", but that jumping reach and strength shot up a whole lot more. A lot worse on the ball, but overall just a very solid little player, and I'm glad to have him in the side. Also a little bit more experience at 27. Our right back is Thomas Owen Price, or Tom Price, and he is part central midfielder, part right back. That's where he's going to be playing. He has great natural fitness, which I love. Bravery, aggression, work rate, kind of everything you want in your more traditional right back. He's going to be playing inverted, so he is going to be helping out the midfield as and where it's necessary. On the other side, we have a no-nonsense fullback, Kyle McCarthy, who can also play in central midfield and can also play at centre-back, though he likely won't at 5'10". Another very good all-round player with that aggression, work rate, but his tackling and set-piece ability is what really stands out to me. 10 corners, 9 free kick taken, 14 penalty taken, I can definitely see him being very useful in key moments. Our midfield then consists of fake player Gethin Jones, the Welsh midfielder. I didn't expect it to have too much of an impact, having added players, but believe me, it's not going to affect this save as much as maybe you think it will. These players likely won't stay long, and I think it's a bit fun to see players develop. 15 years old, born in the year 2007. Can you believe it? And as you can see, very good tackling, work rate, teamwork. Definitely needs to improve his strength a little bit. Hopefully he will do that over time. But mentally and technically, everything you want in a holding midfielder. And alongside him is our little bit more adventurous, but still very good Charlie Bullock. He can play in pretty much any role in the midfield. I'm a huge fan of this guy. 19 years old, can play box-to-box midfielder, can play a bowling midfielder, a playmaker. Right now, though, we do have him as a Mazzala. Just something to be a little bit more adventurous, hopefully help out our attack whilst not giving up on the defensive side of things. And yeah, I think he could be a huge player. Just looking at his stats, he's such a good all-rounder. And yeah, I'm a huge fan. As for our left wing position, it's unquestionably our weakest position is on the wings. But number one is Elliot Evans, who is very, very good. That 16 free kick taken is really screaming out to me. At this level, that can completely change a season. And it's definitely something I want to try and bring the most out of him. 13 finishing, so he could also play up front if necessary, and you can just see in some of these stats he is unbelievably good. Right now he is on the left wing, but don't be surprised if he pops up in that striker position, or even maybe in that cam position where he isn't the worst. Just unbelievable player. Definitely going to be a key part of our squad. And then on the right hand side, if any of you know about Doki Doki, I'm sure you know about Cardiff Met Uni, and I'm sure you know about this man, Harry Owen. Now, this wasn't the reason why I picked Cardiff Met Uni, but in the end, it's something which you can't ignore. It was an amazing save, and it won't be all too dissimilar to this one. Hopefully, though, the story's going to go in many different ways. But one thing I maybe do hope for is that this man can come out clutch when it's necessary. Harry Owen, called hero in that save, doesn't seem as good to me as he seemingly was in that one, but still very good physical stats, has a couple of decent attributes here and there, and considering we don't really have a very good traditional right winger right now, Harry Owens found himself slotted in that position. But up front, we are certainly a little stronger. Lewis Reese is our leading striker. 13 dribbling, 10 finishing, 50 in aggression. Pretty much what you'd want in a player. He's wanted right now by a team in the league below us, so hopefully we can keep hold of him. But you never really know. But yeah, Lewis Reese, 21 years old. I think he could have a very good future for us. And then his strike partner, Aled Williams, our pressing forward. 15 finishing is all you really need to know about this guy. 5'9", so a little bit lacking in the height department. And to be honest, I'm not expecting big things out of this guy, even though he does look quite good on paper. I tend to find these type of players don't really get the chances to score. Positioning there is obviously a key part of it, but his anticipation and composure pretty good. The acceleration is not bad at all. So hopefully he can do something. And on the bench, I'll quickly let you have a look. There's Alex Lang, who is actually believed to be our first choice goalkeeper. Matt Chubb, who is an all-rounder, but not very good at either of the things he says he can. Alaric Jones looks like a very good left centre-back / centre-back. Definitely someone to keep an eye out in terms of rotation. Dixon Kabongo, who initially was starting for this side, looks like a very good player, the 19-year-old from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Charlie Corsby is also a pretty good player, veteran, a little bit more of our aggressor and our playmaker midfielder. Another one to keep an eye out for, could find his way into the starting 11 if he plays well enough. Finally, two youth players, Dion Calorie At 15 years old, definitely has potential here, but needs to improve on technical ability before he can really find his way into this team, I expect. And then finally, Giannis Lewis, a 16-year-old striker who actually does look very good, and I am a big fan of him. And to be honest, I'm a bit more excited for this guy than I am for our leading striker, Alec Williams. So that's the team, but let's talk about what the save is. We're talking about both this team, our goals, and maybe potential future moves with Owen. So the actual save idea all revolves around this specific thing, the Hall of Fame. At number 1 is John Warrington, who is not a real player. He's won a lot of things in like 2030 with Wrexham. Okay, I don't know why he's there. Let's ignore him. So we have Alex Ferguson. Obviously, he is numero uno, one of the greatest managers of all time, with a score of 5,550. Pep Guardiola just behind him on 5,008. Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, Willie Marley, Bob Paisley, Giovanni Trapattoni, Bill Struth, Jock Stein, Otmar Hitzfeld, Louis van Gaal, Michel Luchescu, Zinedine Zidane, Ernst Happel, Philippe Pau, Miguel Munoz, Marcelo Lippi, Arsene Wenger, Fabio Capello, and that rounds out our top 20. So this is exactly what I want to talk about. It's very difficult to quite explain the score, but essentially it's an addition of your domestic division wins, your domestic cups, your international, and your so stuff like your Community Cup, your Charity Shield, UEFA Super Cup, Club Winners' Club World Cup, all that stuff is here in this other clubs, and then of course your international trophies. But each league, each cup, everything is weighted. So obviously number 1 is the World Cup, number 2 is the Champions League, you have your Premier League, La Liga, are worth more of course than winning say League 2, which is pretty obvious. It's definitely not something which needs too much explaining, but it adds so much intrigue to this challenge in terms of where do you go and how long do you stay a team. Say if I'm doing very good with Feyenoord or even with Cardiff Met Uni, why would I stay? Because I might be getting, a third of the potential points I could be getting. So it incentivizes moving clubs as you want to progress and you don't want to stick with one team. It incentivizes trying out different things, and I love it. As for the whole point with Owen Coslett, we ought to find out kind of how his managerial brain works, maybe the types of teams he prefers, things like that. Will he be someone who is quick to hunt for glory, which is something that is known with Owen Coslett. His preferred team is actually Chelsea. That's his favourite team. Reason being, well, he started liking football around 2016, where Chelsea was still a very good team, and they were the main team on TV for him. So he supported Chelsea, though I'm sure he wishes he'd have chosen Man City instead. But Owen Coslett, he definitely is a little bit of a glory hunter. So is he going to be quick to move? Just doesn't care, has no loyalty, just wants to go wherever's winning titles? Or is he going to have a bit more of wanting to, overthrow the monopolists? Is he going to want to go to England? Is he going to want to try and build Wales? That's all things which I can't answer. This game takes you on stories you never would have expected, and I'm very excited for that. And finally, why did we pick Cardiff Met Uni? Well, in my opinion, this is one of the hardest natural saves in the game. We are predicted 9th in the Premier League, the Welsh Premier League. And we are an amateur team, and it's impossible to become more than an amateur team. What does this mean? Well, every single one of my players are on amateur contracts, so they are paid per appearance. So, this would be maybe in other sports or things like pro wrestling, you'd know this is a handshake deal. That's essentially what they are, amateur contracts, handshake deals. Essentially, we agree that, let's say, for example, Gethin Jones, for every appearance, he may get £30 per appearance, maybe an extra 10 if he scores, 5 if he assists, and 5 if he's on the bench. But if they get a professional or even a semi-professional contract, they are liable to leave whenever they wish, and they can happily jump clubs at any point. So we cannot pay for players, we cannot sign players down to official contracts. No matter how big we get, we could not sign, for example, the next Gareth Bale. We couldn't sign him for 3 years, even if we had him. He would simply just move when he liked. So with no transfer budget, no wage budget, and no ability to do that, it's very difficult to overthrow teams. And we are in a league which is a little bit of a monopoly. The past winners consist of, if you look through the last decade, the New Saints have won 8 of the last 10 and 9 of the last 13 league titles. Connors Quay won 2, and Bangor City, which is no longer a real club, won the last one before this kind of massive control. So it's certainly a big, it's certainly not easy. It's a big gap between TNS and the rest of the sides. And if you look at the the expectations for the league, they are 2-9. The next best is Haverfordwest, who are 14-1, and we're 100-1. So that's why I think this is going to be a really fun, exciting challenge. Not only does the save itself push us into positions we may not have expected, this team is going to have big change constantly, and it's going to rely on me being able to find the best players for the cheapest deals. We also have to keep an eye on finances. We have to try and improve our coaching badges. A hell of a lot is going on, and I'm very, very excited. So this is an introduction episode. We will be back for the game against Barry, where you will see some of our transfers, team players who've left, players who are joining. Should be said, we do know for a fact that Joe Evans is joining from Pontypridd. He is a potential centre-back / right-back. We also have Evan Cadwallader. He will be joining. He looks like a very good centre-back / central midfielder. And Barney Sodi, who could play either side of a full-back role. So 3 pretty good players coming in, but we are definitely going to have to improve the team. Definitely better than what it currently is. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're excited for the next few episodes, as a hell of a lot is set to be changing. But thank you all for watching, and goodbye. Bye-bye.